everyone. Welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and today is day 10 of our Advent calendar. So we're now into double digits. And I'm going to just turn up my volume, make sure you can hear me. All right, so let's see what we have for day 10. All right, it's got a little, I don't know, a little campfire, I guess, or Yule log. Duh. All right, so it's got that on there. All right, so, I think I got it open without messing it up. There we go. All right, so let's see what we have in there today. All right. I'm being a little cautious of this chair. I feel like every time I sit in it, it's a little more wobbly. And although me falling on my tush isn't, might go viral, don't really want to do that. So if you see me jump up really quick, it means the chair is collapsing. All right, so let's see what we've got today. Oh my, this is in very tiny print. So it's called the Dorian Gray. It has Assam black tea, Ceylon black tea, bergamot, orange peel, lemon peel, orange extract, and lemon extract. A lot of things in there. All right, so let me open it up. I can smell something, but I can't really tell what it is. It could be the bergamot. All right, so let's open up our tea ball, maybe. There we go. All right. Oh, I can see orange and lemon in there. Little bits of peel, I guess. And here comes the cats. They don't like me to do anything by myself. It's like having small children. Oh, there's a big, there we go. I was going to say there's a big piece of orange or lemon or something in there. Excuse me, Sebastian. That just kind of fell out. So we're going to tuck that in the tea ball too. All right, you need to learn from your brother, right? You need to sit. I know, it's like I have a dog, right? They're not gonna sit. All right, so I've got my cat mug and I'm gonna tuck my tea ball in there. And we're Bumblebee today. All right, so while that is steeping, we're gonna talk a little bit, and I know this won't relate to everyone, but even if you don't have children, you might have friends with children you can pass this along to, or you might have nieces or nephews or something along that line. Because today we're going to talk about how to help your child love books. So, if you want my credentials, I mean, I have two adult children, I have two grandsons, I've taught children. So, anyway, these are just my opinions, nevertheless. All right, so the first thing, and I'm going to drink my coffee while the tea is steeping because I haven't had my coffee yet. So that's just how much I love you guys. I have to get up and do this, and I haven't even had my coffee. All right, so the first one is read to them even when they can read. So I know sometimes, certainly life gets busy, and I know that once your child knows how to read, we kind of forget to read to them. They'll read to us, or we just let them go off and read if they're readers, if they like to read. But often we don't read to them. And I think there's still that place for us to read to them. For one thing, I think it helps them to learn how to pronounce words. I think it gives them a chance to get immersed in the story more than they would if they were reading it themselves. And it also gives you that family time, that time when you can, cuddle up together, or when you can read a book together and then talk about it. When my kids were younger, it was around the time that the Harry Potter series came out, and we read every book together. And they certainly knew how to read and were of the age where they could read, but I wanted to hear the books. They wanted to hear the books, and it just made sense for our family to just read them out loud and read them together. And, and that's still, some of our fondest memories. So it's a really good idea to do. The next one, and I don't know if there's science related to this or not my forte, you could look it up. I'm sure Google could tell you. But read to them in the womb. Read to them before they're even born. I I really wanted to have lifelong readers because I love to read so much. So before my children were even born, I read them Huck Finn, I read them Treasure Island, and I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but as adults and as children, they love to read. So, did it work? Maybe. Okay, and if they don't love to read, and you know this, make sure that there's no physical reason why. You know, check all the things that would need to be checked. You know, make sure they don't have ADHD. Make sure they don't have dyslexia. You know, make sure there's not a reason that they don't like to read. Maybe the words on the page don't make sense to them. You know, maybe they keep mixing things up. You know, just make sure there's no learning disability in there that could be worked on. The next one is let them see you reading. I mean, children like to copy things. If they see you reading all the time, they're much more likely to be readers too, because they're much more likely to see that that's something you value. Um, you know, if they see you sitting in front of the TV all the time, then, you know, that's what you value, right? I mean, it may not be true, but you know, that's the way that it's going to come across. So if you can, you know, schedule some time, and I know you can't really read with two children or three children or whatever, but you know, schedule time where they can see you sit with a book. And, you know, even if it's only for 5 minutes and they come over and interrupt you and you have to say like, just a second, let me finish this sentence. You know, it still shows that, you know, that's something you value and maybe something they'll value. Okay, let's take a little sip of our tea. And I mean, just at the moment, it just looks like black tea, but we'll give a little taste here. And remove the tea ball, but I might put it back in if it's not strong enough. All right, let's see. So far, I don't think it's strong enough. It's I can taste the black tea, but I can't taste much else. So we'll leave it in there a little bit longer. I'll move that and go back to my coffee. All right. So the next one is to have a reading-friendly house. So by that I mean make sure that it's not a chore for them to get a book. So make sure you have bookshelves that are down low enough that they can, you know, reach their books. You know, even have a few books on the shelf that might be a little bit old for them, but you know, they'll be tempted by them, right? Like they'll see the covers and think, okay, like I really want to know what this story is about. So, you know, maybe they'll work a little harder on their reading to get to that level. Um, but if you kind of put them on a high shelf or in a box or something and they have to actually ask when they want one, it's not as likely to happen. And we're all, I think, the type where if it's out of sight, out of mind. So if they don't see them, they're not going to think about them. So and then, of course, you know, visit some libraries and some bookstores. Go places where there are books. You know, encourage them to take out books from the library. Encourage them to take good care of those books. Make sure they realize those are valued things, that they're not something to be thrown on the floor of their bedroom or, you know, walked across when they're going to get their Lego or, you know, whatever. But if they see you treating books kindly and they, you know, and they're taught that from a young age, usually that's something that, you know, kids are really good with. So the next thing is to give books as gifts. So I love to give books as gifts. I think that it's, I don't know, I just really like it. I like that it encourages that. And there's so many good books out there. I mean, my goodness. I know they're expensive. I've looked at the ones at, you know, different bookstores and things, and I know they can be pricey, but, you know, this time of year especially, I mean, look for sales. A lot of times, you know, if you actually go into the store, you know, you can find some sales in the front of the store that, you know, you might tempt you, might have something there that you think that your child would like or you would like, but you know, it's not about you right now. I know. I go into a bookstore and it's like, it's like a kid in a candy store, right? I want one of everything, but but they do make good books, and you pair it with a cute bookmark or a pair of cozy socks or something, and it's something that I find that children really enjoy. Um, because they need that quiet time too. I mean, uh, they're little whirlwinds, and they love to play and love to go, but sometimes they need to rest just like the rest of us, and for them to have a new book that they can curl up with, perfect. I think it's in Sweden, maybe, one of the Nordic countries anyway, that I think the day before Christmas is a day when everyone gives each other books, and I think that's a really neat idea. And I know, when my kids were growing up, I think maybe not every year, but a lot of times I think, Christmas Eve they would get like a pair of pajamas, new pajamas, and a book to read. So something that could be read at bedtime just to just to help us get there, because everybody's so excited, right? So I just realized our house has a lot of cat themed mugs, but okay, so the next one is, if it's a story they know really well, make it fun. Turn it into a game. Make them think about it even when you're not reading the book. So, different things like, what would Christopher Robin eat for supper? Maybe we should make that and figure out what that is. Or we used to like to play this game called Pooh Sticks, which, if you've ever read Winnie the Pooh, um, Pooh and Piglet and Christopher Robin would go up on this bridge, and they would toss these sticks down, and they would see whose stick floated fastest underneath the bridge and went down the stream. And so, that's a fun game to play. But again, it gets you thinking about that story. Um, I'm going to try and think of what other stories would be good for that. I mean, pretty much anything. I mean, if you want to play the quiet game, and parents love the quiet game, read them Wordy Birdie, where Wordy Birdie talks all the time, and then say, okay, let's try not to be Wordy Birdie. Let's see if we can be quiet for 2 minutes. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can do these things, right? And I'm sure you can think of tons. All right, so one more taste of the tea. All right. And maybe I'm not giving it a fair chance with, coffee next to me too. So we'll see. Oh, I could taste it more now. Yeah, I definitely get a citrus flavor. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to tell you if it was orange or lemon or both, but you get that little bit of tang to it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Um, it's just okay. So I'd give it maybe a 2 out of 5. Yeah, not my favorite. Yesterday we had a home run. I mean, 5 out of 5, and that's the only one we've had so far. So, they can't all be winners. And so the last one that I had was, oh, and one of the other things sorry, I'm all over the place here. One of the other things I was thinking about with making things fun is acting out the story. Excuse me. So if you've ever been in like a Shambhala classroom, or different places, they'll act out fairy tales. Usually it's fairy tales. I don't know why. Maybe just because they're well known. But yeah, just, get them together, and, everybody act out a little part of, Hansel and Gretel, or Beauty and, Sleeping Beauty, or, whatever. And that's fun too, right? It's, just something, I mean, SpongeBob SquarePants, doesn't matter. It's just something that they can act out, and try to remember that story and kind of how it went. And it helps them too to remember things like the beginning, the middle, and the end, because obviously, Three Little Pigs, you can't have the end with, the pig in the brick house. You have to have, or you can't have the end with the pig in the straw house. You have to have that at the end. And I said that all wrong. But anyway, you know what I mean. More coffee. Um, so yeah, if you act out things like that, and then again, kind of along with that, I guess, don't let it always be about working on the reading. Let it be, you know, let there be times that they're just having fun and having fun reading. If they, I mean, it's good. You want them to read things that you consider, good books. But if they're at an age where they would much rather read, comic books or something that you don't consider, worthy, uh, that's okay. I mean, so long as they're reading, I mean, they'll get to the other things, but they have to learn that, they have to read things they like, even if it's not something you would care for. So yeah, anyway, that's just my take on how to help your child learn to read, learn to love to read, and take it for what it's worth. But but we tried the tea today. It was not a great success, but we'll try again tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take my coffee. And today is a weekend day, so always lots of things to do and chores to do. But I also have a book that I'm 80% done. So, might just curl up and drink the rest of my coffee and finish that first. All right, friends. Have a great day. Bye bye.